But let me warn you what will happen when you're successful, because I don't want you to get out there and get caught off guard. At first, you're going to be celebrated. But when your success surpasses what your peers expect of you, then you will become a target. So now that you have set your intention, now that you have your foundation, let's talk about how to stay on course when the attacks come. And I assure you, they will come for you just as they did for me. When my attack started, I was shocked because I was so busy looking outside for the enemy to come and tear me down, I didn't even realize that the enemy was standing right in my own backyard. You see, we as black people, we have come through so much and we've endured so much that a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us still bear the scars of our ancestors. We still feel that if one of us is up, then that means that no one else can be too. So in order for me to be up and get ahead, then I can't celebrate you, I have to tear you down. That's the mentality that we have sometimes. That stems from a time in our history that there was only allowed one person of color to be successful at a time. I'll give you an example for Hollywood. When Hattie McDaniel was successful, there couldn't be another. When Dorothy Dandridge was successful, there couldn't be another. When Sammy Davis was successful, you know what I'm saying, you get the picture here. So expect some attacks. It's all a part of it. But remember this, a hunter only shoots at a deer he can see. If you ain't being seen, you ain't doing nothing. I can recall not too long ago being called a coon and a buffoon by one of my peers. Things were written in headlines in some of these blogs like, what's up with him in this dress? Hello. Headlines, shocking. Why did he put these fat black people on TV when House of Pain came out? Tyler, this one is someone I saw, it's a title of an article. Tyler Perry hates black women. Another one said Tyler Perry hates black men. I mean, just absurd things that shocked me because it was coming from inside, from black folks. I was blown away. I thought, how could these intellectuals with these degrees, they're so smart, how can they not see what I'm doing here? How could they not get the power of what was happening here for people that everybody else had given up on? Their comments took me aback because I found myself fighting two wars. I was sitting in Hollywood meetings at the board table telling them how important our stories are and how they need to be told and how it was important that we keep our truths as they are. But when I left out of the boardroom, stepped out of that meeting, I had to fight us too. One comment that stuck with me is Tyler Perry, this was the title of an article, Tyler Perry is dangerous for black people. I thought, what? I thought, what? How can they say this? The people who were saying these things must not have known the experiences and my life and the people around me. They had shaped me. They had shaped my writing and my work, like my uncle with his ashy knees, who drank and fell in and out of love every other weekend. Or my aunt, who would get into an argument with her husband and cut him, dial 911, then pray that he was okay. Or the woman that lived across the street from me who was largely overweight. She had 10 children and she was on welfare. And when I thought about all of these people and their stories, I realized something that stopped me from being frustrated by what they were saying. I quickly stopped paying attention to the naysayers when I realized what they were telling me was, what they were saying is that my stories and the people that I was talking about didn't deserve to have their story told because they were an embarrassment to a certain level of black people. That's what they were saying. And I got angry. I thought, who are they to say that your life and your story as a black person shouldn't be told because you don't look like what they want you to look like? I got angry not just for me, but for all of the people that I love and the millions of people that love what I do. I was offended for the people that I grew up with and the people that loved me so much. I was offended for the people that were maids and garbage truck drivers and hairdressers, the people that shine shoes and wash dishes and scrub toilets and clean houses, so that the very people that are talking about the work that I'm doing could get the degrees to be authorities on all things Tyler Perry. But I must say, when my anger subsided, I wanted to understand this level of elitist ignorance. It didn't take me long to find out that this lives in our culture as well. There is a history of it. It was Langston Hughes who said that Zora Neale Hurston, one of the greatest literary minds of our times, was a new version of the darky because her story spoke in a southern dialect. I got it then. And it also will go the other way, where they say if you get too much education, then you're trying to be too white. Or if you speak proper English, you're trying to be white. Or if, just take Whitney Houston, who was booed at the Soul Train Awards by black people because she sounded too white. It was in The Color Purple where people boycotted because of the stories and the way that Alice Walker had depicted black men. Alice Walker, a black woman, Alice Walker. They boycotted the movie. And then when it didn't win any Oscars, they boycotted it. They said that Oprah was too white. They said that The Cosby Show didn't represent us as black people. So it goes both ways. In my research, I found something shocking. What I found is that we as black people, we have the greatest migration that you can imagine. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Tell you what we do to ourselves. When some of us make a little money, or when we get some degrees, we don't want to be reminded of who we are and where we come from. When we see someone that reminds us of our grandparents or our ancestors, we get offended. If we see an image of a black person on television that is overweight, we get troubled. And you know the thing that bothers me is I have never seen our white brothers and sisters apologizing for telling all sides of their story. Realizing that, I learned not to apologizing for telling all shades of ours. As an artist, this is the art that I want to paint. And I'm going to tell you this, graduates, just as I will never do it, don't you ever change one brushstroke on your canvas because somebody doesn't like what you paint. Because I'll tell you what happened. While they were talking, my intention stayed the same: to encourage, to lift, to inspire. While they were murmuring, I kept going higher. I kept on building, still getting bigger. I kept on working. Why am I telling you this? Number one, so that you know how to stay on course. Keep your intention no matter what pressures come your way. And also, I'm telling you this because it's time that we stop running from where we come from to look for someone else to approve us. I don't know why we run out to someone else looking for validation. I want to tell you something. We are enough. You are enough. Your gift is enough. Live in your truth. Share your gifts. Don't worry about who gets it. If your aim and your intention is for right and to do the right thing, you will make it. And when you do, don't run from us. Don't be embarrassed by us. Come back and help us. You are the generation that has the power to do away with this kind of thinking. You are the generation that can change this. You can show us that all of our stories and all of our lives matter. When I made my first $1 million, I'll tell you what I did. I went back and I set up shop right in the middle of our community, in the hood. I will never forget when President Obama was running for re-election in 2012 and he came to the studio, and to see all of those little black faces lining the streets, holding their flags, waving at the presidential motorcade came driving through the ghetto. I saw hope in their eyes. It made me cry because I realized that some of them know that they can do it too. I recently bought Fort McPherson Army Base in Atlanta to build my new studio. And it's right in the middle of one of the lowest income areas in Atlanta. And I will hire many people from that neighborhood and train them on how to run their own companies. It gives me so much joy to know that an army base that was established and built just a few years after slavery is now owned by a Negro. I say that to say this to you, that our ancestors, they walked their path. Your grandparents, your mother, your father, they all walked their paths. Now it's your turn. Return to where you come from when you made it. You have the foundation. Know your intention. Know that it's not going to be easy, but just keep yourself on track. Know the value of what is already down in your well. Know that you are special. Know that you carry it. You have the torch. It's already been bought and paid for. Now it's in your hands. Use it for good. Inspire somebody. Encourage somebody. Uplift somebody. And finally, return to where you got started. Build with us. Teach us. Show us what you've learned. Help us to see that we can do it too. Then help somebody else to know that they are just as special as you are. May God bless you, Tuskegee. Bless all your dreams. Bless you.
Oh, I think we can do a little better than that for Mr. Dr. Tyler Perry. We appreciate Mr. Perry, Dr. Perry. We appreciate his willingness to agree to receive a degree from Tuskegee University, and we appreciate our future with Dr. Perry.